Hello and welcome to the Paul Green Comedy PaulCast for November 5th, 2024, episode 314. Stand-up comedian, actor, improviser, and dreamer, Paul Green, sharing my thoughts and my journey with all of you beautiful people out there in internet land. Happy Election Day. I hope that today goes however you were hoping it would go. And, I am very politically adverse. I don't like to think about it. I don't like to talk about it that much. And, I'd say if there's anybody you're going to vote for yourself. Oh, how about that, huh? Vote for yourself, everybody. Go out there and trust in yourself. Vote for yourself to go out and live the life that you want to live. And, put your trust in yourself. I am more and more as I get older, the more I'm convinced that if you want something in your life, it's up to you. Ain't nobody going to give it to you. And if somebody does give you something, you should thank them as the day is long because, nobody owes it to you. I was talking about that a lot today, actually, on my other podcast that I do with my buddy Josh Novi. And we got together today and did the first podcast that we've done in a couple of months. We just have not had time to meet up. These last couple of months have been really busy. Lots of touring, lots of traveling, really busy for him because he was producing a movie that he wrote. And so he has been slammed busy. And so it was really nice just to get back together and talk. But we just talked about this idea of, in today's world and probably at any period of time, there's no shortage of opportunity. However, whatever it is that you're seeking, whatever it is that you want, the necessity for you to go out and create your opportunities and aggressively pursue them is, I think, probably more necessary than maybe it has been in previous years. I remember I was listening to a podcast with Jason Alexander, who famously played George Costanza on Seinfeld, and in this podcast he just said, I see so many actors that come out to LA and they just expect to audition and then get a major role and just get a major gig. And he goes, I don't really see that happening anymore. He goes, now if you want a gig, you actually have to create the gig yourself. Like if you want to be in a movie, you have to go make a movie and put yourself in it. Or you at least have to make something, create something, produce something, and put yourself in it and have it be successful enough that when you do audition, the producers and casting know who you are. And I think that's very similar with stand-up. I'm friends with the owner of a comedy club out here, and, he just talks about how many submissions he gets for comics wanting to be in his club. And, because that takes no effort. It takes no effort just to send an email and just kind of bug a club owner and send him a clip and say, book me, book me, book me, book me. But if you really want to, be impressive and, stand out, it's like, well, you got to produce. You got to find ways to um, be more than just, another comic trying to get booked or another actor trying to get booked. And I'll tell you, I am learning that more and more as I pursue this craft and pursue entertainment, that where the real value is the ability to sell tickets or to attract attention. Like, attention to me, I think, is the greatest asset. And what do I mean by that? Let's just take an example. Let's take two comics. Let's say they're both, more or less the same amount of funny, more or less. I know funny is subjective, but, just for this point. Right? And you're a club owner, and of those two comics, one of them has the capacity to market and advertise the show and can bring, 20 to 50 people to your venue. The other comic, every bit as funny, doesn't care about advertising, doesn't really want to advertise or whatever, and it's just going to show up and do jokes, right? So if you're a producer, that's a no-brainer who you're going to go with. Matter of fact, a lot of times club owners or club bookers will book comics who are less funny because they are a draw, because they can bring people out to the venue. So, it's not a fun truth. I don't feel like people like to hear that. I think there's a bit of a narcissistic complex that I sensed in a lot of comics, and probably I have it in me as well, which is this idea of like, oh, well, I'm an artist and I should just be rewarded with millions and millions of dollars just for showing up, and no other work is necessary other than just my presence. And, good luck. Good luck with that attitude. I would say this, and I would say this to any comic, and I have said this to other comics and have talked about this, that if you want to be success, you got to go generate your own success. And, if you want people to come out and see you do comedy, then figure out how to market yourself to get people to come out to see you do comedy. Because as long as you are relying on the booker, it is, oh my gosh, it is so freaking hard to get a human being out of their house, into their car. If they have kids, they have to get a babysitter, and then they got to drive, and they got to buy a ticket, and then they come out to the show. Like, to get people to do that en masse for a particular show is so much work and effort. Again, the owner of that club, I know some of the marketing efforts that he's done just to get people in his venue. And there are still some nights that are low. It's so hard. Even like famous comics sometimes, can't fill an entire room. So learning to hustle and grind and network, and being willing to go the extra mile to find success. Now, of course, I'm talking specifically of comedy because that's my pursuit, but I think that's the case with anything, no matter what you're doing. It's looking at it of, how can I show up in a manner that makes me more valuable to the club or the company or the organization or the booker or whatever than, everybody else who is interested in that same opportunity, maybe has a similar talent level. How can I stand out? How can I create my own opportunity, or create your own gig, as Jason Alexander said? And yeah, that ain't no joke. So vote for yourself, man. Vote for yourself. Get out there, create your opportunities, find ways to find out whatever it is that you want to do, how you can be the most valuable in that pursuit. And, be most valuable to the people who you want to work with. I'm trying to think if it was Harrison Ford or George Clooney. One of those, kind of Hollywood hunks. And I just remember hearing a story, and I'm going to be kind of vague on this because I don't remember a lot of the details, but, whichever one it was, Harrison or Ford, first moved to Hollywood, they kept auditioning and they just were like, oh, how can I get the gig? How can I get this job? How can I book it? What do I need to, do to get this? And after, getting turned down, a bunch of times, they finally realized, hey, maybe I should be looking at this differently. Maybe I should be looking at this as, what does the casting director need? What does the director want? How can I show up and be what they want and what they need? Like, how can I make their job easier? And he sort of had this realization of like, they're casting. They have to sit through hundreds, if not thousands, of actors and actresses for any given role. And they actually desperately want to find the person. They want you to be that person because that means their job is over. That means the search is over. They want to find the person who is so that role that it's a no-brainer. They don't have to think about it. And so he just started going into auditions with this idea of like, how can I make this decision so easy on the casting director? How can I show up with that mentality? And then, of course, shortly after that, they booked, something major or whatever, whether it was Star Wars or whatever George Clooney booked. Sorry for the vagueness of the story, but yeah, vote for yourself, man. Vote for yourself. And how you can show up and ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. Vote for yourself. How can you bring value to others? And when you bring value to others, then they can bring value to you. I don't actually know if that's a good JFK or not. Can't really tell. So, that's my thoughts tonight. I am just so, what's the word? Immune? Immune's probably not the right word. Aloof? I don't like that word. Am I aloof to politics, the election? I am just at a stage in life to where I know no matter who's running whatever country, they aren't going to make my dreams come true. Only I can do that. And, whoever's up at that level making whatever decisions, we still have to navigate it and navigate the systems that are in place and the constraints that are in place and, the economy that is in place and the inflation that exists. Like, there's always going to be some challenge, some setback, something global, something local, weather problems, financial problems, wars, skirmishes, disease, criminals, no matter who's running the country, it's never going to alleviate the reality that there's always challenges in life. There's always obstacles to overcome. There's always things that are out of our control that are influencing us. And at the end of the day, we have to make whatever decisions we want to make, and we have to take whatever risks we're willing to take and behave however we want and choose to behave, in hopes of achieving whatever it is that we say that we want. And that's what I'm focusing on more and more of. How can I show up differently? How can I show up better? How can I create my opportunities? How can I create my own audience, create my own influence, create my own fan base, and do so in a manner that is long-lasting, that perseveres and that grows and builds. And if I can do that, then I can, bring that influence and bring that skill set to, any club in the country, any booker in the, then I'll be the comic who is able to bring, 50 people, 100 people to any venue, 500 people, 1,000 people, and then I'll be the no-brainer. I'll be the one the bookers go, oh, well, there's 1,000 comics who sent me their videotape, but none of them know how to advertise or how to market or how to bring an audience, which means I'm going to have to do all the hard work to bring an audience, and it is a lot of hard work. So this election day, I'm voting for myself. I am the write-in candidate, Paul Green, and I vote myself to be president of myself. This is starting to sound very narcissistic again. I do not mean this in a narcissistic way. I mean this in a healthy ego, a healthy self-esteem, a healthy self-love, a healthy self-confidence, a healthy belief in yourself. And, because if you can't believe in yourself, there ain't nobody else going to believe. So get out there and get it done, everybody. And pursue your hopes, pursue your dreams, pursue what's in your heart. Take a chance on yourself. Vote for yourself. And go out there and create your opportunities, create your reality, and see what happens. Just see what happens. All right, everybody. I'm going to end it right there because I am actually absolutely floored exhausted. It has been an incredibly long couple days, and I need to get some sleep. So I will bid you adieu for now, but I love you all so much. I hope your dreams are coming true. You're having joy and fulfillment on the path. I love you all so much, and I will talk to you tomorrow. This is the Paul Green Comedy Podcast, November 5th, 2024, episode 314. Talk to you soon.